You did that part. Now, let me go live. Click live.
Oh, come on.
I didn't know, Nick.
No, nope, sorry.
All right, okay.
No, go for it.
All right, okay.
See ya.
All right, guys. How about now? Can you guys see me now? Can you guys see me now? Boom. Sooner. Hi, Susan. All rats. We are live. Thank you. All right. Got you. There we go. All right, guys. Sorry for the technical difficulties. My son walked out of the room and left me with a computer. What was he thinking, right? So, anyways, I want to welcome everybody here to Tactical Rifleman. We're doing this on TR Live, our sister channel. I'm not real big on this, so I'm going to close that out. I'm going to close that one out too. Yeah, decent stuff indeed. We got Steve Holland coming tonight. Got a bunch of stuff going on, new for you guys. We got a giveaway. Don't worry, we got a giveaway too. Don't you sweat that stuff. Don't you sweat it. We also got a new sponsor tonight right here. JX Tactical. I'm like, JX Tactical. You're going to have to elaborate a little bit. Their motto is holsters for everybody. Like, not everybody, but everybody. So I'm like, all right, so what does that mean? These guys, and they got inside the waistband, they got outside the waistband, but they also have Fat Guy appendix-carry inside the waistband. And they also got this LOW Rider outside the waistband. So I'm like, okay, so what does this mean? What it means is some of you guys that are a little more robust, you got a little more grizzle. If you got grizzle, these guys, their appendix carry Fat Guy holster. Again, it doesn't say you're a fat rat bastard on the holster. It doesn't. It doesn't say that. There's no sign to be in your face when you put it on every day. It's just a holster they've designed to be more comfortable. If you've got a little extra tactical fluff or padding, right? And then their LOW Rider holster basically is designed to make it more comfortable for whether you're standing, sitting, stuff like that. So like a good for inside the vehicle type thing. That's kind of cool, All their holsters come cut for optics already, and it's a good deal. Good deal. So anyways, mine are on the way. I'm getting them for my Glock 19, which is my usual EDC, and then also for my my Glock 43X. And you guys know I run lights on both of those, optics, all kinds of fun stuff. So anyways, they are en route. Okay, and you guys know how this stuff works, right? Understand, I don't care about the chat room. You guys, I ask you to keep the chat room PG-13. But what I do have to do is, if you guys have legitimate questions, my moderators will grab those questions. For example, there's a question right here, a comment from a moderator. I've got to delete that one. Okay. You have questions, you send them to you put them in the chat. And my moderators will pull out your legitimate questions. I could care less if you're asking, is a hot dog a sandwich? Could care less. All right, but understand, legitimate questions, they'll pick them and they'll send them on to me. They'll pop up on my phone right here. Guys, that is some good coffee right there. I'm doing 5 Stone Frontline coffee. Good stuff. Remember last week I had that big bag. That was my last one, by the way. So anyways, Eric at 5 Stone, he's supposed to be sending me some more espresso roast. We'll see. Hopefully I get it. That said, I want to thank Eric for his support here, but also his support of Tactical Rifleman Nation. You guys, use TR10 at his website, and saves you 10% off of everything. Now, if you look in the description under this video, you got the stuff for JX Tactical there, right? But also, I asked my son to plug in some notes from 5 Stone Frontline Coffee. Basically, Eric has got this tumbler. You guys know, like the Yeti tumbler that I get the TR logo put on, right? The guys give them to me as gifts. Okay, cool. I appreciate that. They're good tumblers. Eric has got one with his logo, but if you buy one, all the proceeds of that go to support his mission trip that he's going on, which I think is totally badass. He's good people, man. And I don't say that about everybody. All right. Make sure I'm getting it right. Your support helps us with our Nigeria trip this fall to help provide medical training supplies, services to persecuted Christians in need. We are honored to have been asked to join equipping the persecuted to serve others across the globe. We're excited and can't wait to see what God has planned for us. Anyways, again, that is his Tumblr and everything else, guys. Good coffee. You're going to buy coffee anyways. You might as well buy good coffee. And I'm big on two companies. Frontier Coffee Company is owned by an active duty Green Beret, and Five Stone Frontline Coffee. Eric doing great work. So anyways, that's what I'm drinking tonight. I wish you guys could feel how hot this cup is. This puppy's putting out some BTUs right here. I came back from Taco Tuesday, raced down here, but I had to make my shots of espresso. Some strong stuff right there. Still a little warm. Perhaps we could cool it down a little bit. How do you cool down a hot beverage? You take a beverage that is at room temperature, or ice, but I prefer beverages at room temperature. In this case, only to cool down my coffee, I'm gonna add a little bit of Patron Cafe XO. It's a coffee liqueur with tequila. That's at room temperature. Again, I'm only doing this to lower the temperature of my coffee. That's just a little bit too hot right now. Keep pouring. I'm sorry, Steve. I'm sorry. There's nothing left for Steve Holland. There's nothing left for Steve. Steve, it's all gone. Steve, I'm sorry, brother. All right, so should I leave the empty bottle over here for Steve Holland? That's right, guys. Steve Holland's on his way. Oh, yeah. Smells like tequila. Just the right temperature. Five Stone coffee with a little bit of Patron XO Cafe. Just don't get any better than that, guys. It really doesn't. Really does not. All right, so I see we've already got a couple questions coming in. All right, let's start off with questions from Peanut Gallery. The first one's from Flintlock. Hey, Carl. What are your thoughts on full-sized Uzis? I'm starting to build as a pure fun gun. Uzis were great pistol caliber subguns back in the day because they fired from the open bolt, just like your grease guns or even your Thompson fired from the open bolt. Uzis were awesome. I was a big fan of the Uzis growing up as a kid. I thought Uzis were awesome. Fast forward, I got into SF, and my A-team, sniper A-team for the SIF company, we had tons of sniper rifles, but you still sometimes snipers need to be able to get closer. So we had suppressed pistols, but we also had suppressed MP5 SDs. Suppressor, basically, it's built into it. We had them, but then in our foreign weapons pool locker, besides the AKs and everything, we had Uzis, we had mini Uzis, we had micro Uzis. We had all these other great guns. We had access to all of them. We could sign, take whichever one. We brought the extra M79 thumpers, the 40 millimeter grenade launchers and stuff like that. But once you've got to play with the Uzis are good. But it's like shooting a regular MP5. They're good guns. They're just dated now. Honest today, I would take my Strybog. Everything's fully ambidextrous on it. I know everybody hates it. That's from the Czech Republic, Carl. Or Slovakia? How dare you say that's better than MP5? I'm saying the MP5 is dated. I'm saying the Uzi is dated. But again, they're great guns, and it's like owning a grease gun or a Thompson. That's cool. So I encourage you, get your Uzi and build it out and have fun with it. Legitimately have fun with it. hang it up on the wall, loaded magazine nearby, and you'll enjoy it. You will. But I wouldn't weigh my life on a 9mm pistol caliber carbine, not at all. Matthew Donnie, hi Carl. Why is there no 2nd, 4th, 6th SF groups? Why is there an 82nd Airborne and 101st Airborne and not a 81st or 80th Airborne? The reality is armies have been doing this since the dawn of time. It is to throw off the enemy so that they don't know how many troops you actually have. All right, I know that sounds trivial. That's just how they do it. There's a 1st group, a 3rd group, a 5th group, a 7th group, a 10th group. There's a 19th group. There's a 20th group. Those are our National Guard groups. There used to be some reserve groups. That's just how the military is. I don't know. I don't know why they do it. The thought process that, well, you're throwing off the enemy so they don't know how many troops you have. I understand that. You understand that kind of went out with like some satellite imagery and modern spy technology. But alas, that's why they do it. Good question. Whew. Wow, that shit's strong right there. All right, gonna be a good live stream. What do you guys think? All right, we got another question here. I like it when you guys are back-to-back questions. Mitchell Kuda question: Getting older, saw review of the Primary Arms 1X Micro Prism. Do you recommend? My eyes suck. He red do now. Actually green. Opinion on red or green also, please. You and Steve rock. Wait for service. The red do now. All right. I believe this one green. All right. The one on my desk is actually green. Can you guys see that reticle in there? You can, right? Ain't that sexy? All right, so that I do have access to green ones. I do. I'm going to turn that reticle off. Even though it has shake awake, I don't want to waste it. The reality is I love these little 1X micro prism. Don't get me wrong. My go-to work gun, I'm going to have an EOTech on it. I'm just a big fan of the EOTech. Guys with bad eyes, guys with astigmatism, the 1X micro prism, your zombie apocalypse gun. Understand that EOTech, if you don't have fresh CR123 batteries to keep putting in it every couple of months, you're screwed. All right, this thing will last you forever. Even with a dead battery, it's got an etched reticle in it. So I love the thing. I do. I really do love it. I can't say enough about it. I'm hoping, and again, it's the SLX series, so it is made in China. It is. So is my cell phone, but so is a lot of really good optics out there. Holosun is a Chinese company, right? But Primary Arms, they've got their Platinum series made in Japan, better glass. They got their Gold series, GLX, which I believe is the Philippines. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it is. And then the SLX, their Silver series, those are made in China. So it's decent. It is decent. One thing I will say is they've got a 3X micro prism out right now. Also badass. I'm not a prism guy. I was never an ACOG guy. If you look at most of my pictures, I'm literally running a SR25 with a 3.5 to 10x scope on it. Right? The Marines had great results with the ACOG scope, as did the Army. Served their infantrymen very, very well. For me, I like precision. One thing I will say is I'm also pleasantly surprised with their micro prism. This, I know it looks just like the 1X micro prism, but this is a magnifier, guys. It's designed to actually go right behind it. Click. And then you've got 3X. I'm not big on leaving magnifiers on your gun. Oh, but you can put it out of the way. You can. But if you push the button and you rotate this thing out of the way with this mounted in front of it, now I've got this big blind spot over here. As I'm bringing it up in front of my eyes, I've got this big blind spot. it adds weight to the gun. So a combat gun out to 200, point blank zero, you do not need a magnifier. A magnifier is great for identifying friend or foe. Is it a target that actually warrants deadly force? But if you're going to be out in an area, literally this thing, you can keep it in your go bag, bring it out, toss it on your gun, clamp it down, and it'll serve you well. It will. And the cool part about that primary arms micro prism, it's the magnifiers, it's got the Pegasus ranging reticle in it. So in other words, putting it behind my EOTech that doesn't have a ranging reticle in it, I can put that 3x magnifier, can still see my EOTech very, very well for shooting at 300, 400 meters. But I can use the Pegasus reticle in the 3x magnifier. Works very, very well behind any red dot. All right, good stuff indeed. I hear my phone still dinging. So let's see what we got here. Not that one. All right, I apologize, guys. I do the best I can here. Next one is from Leif LeBlanc. How much difference in the recoil between the Barrett M99 and the M107? As I've shot M82, but never the bolt gun. Thanks, Rangers lead the way. A lot of your recoil mitigation is being done by the big spade muzzle brake. That said, it's kind of like a shotgun. A break action double barrel shotgun kicks a lot, or a pump shotgun kicks a lot more than a shotgun that is auto loading, because it's using some of that recoil energy to cycle the bolt carrier group to put that next round in the chamber. So if you're a bolt gun 450 or the Barrett 416, understand you're going to get more accuracy than the M82 or the M107 semi-auto, but at the expense of speed for follow-up shots. Guys, if I'm using a Barrett 50 cal, I'm shooting at armored vehicles, Bedouin pickup trucks, Scud missiles, MiGs sitting on the runway, low-flying helicopters, whatever it is, and I want that semi-automatic gun. I do. So, Leaf, you've got me by 40 pounds, dude. Don't be afraid of a little bit of recoil. It's not going to hurt you at all. The 25 millimeter Barrett, everybody says it kicked bad. It kicked a lot worse than a 50 cal Barrett, but to me, me and Sularoo, we had a blast with it. It was awesome. Awesome indeed. All right, next one is from the captain. Carl, I'll donate later. If I'm in the truck and Keanu Reeves wants to borrow my rifle, but it's not lubed, the best of what I have is olive oil, moisturizer, suntan lotion, spray. D, none, thanks. Seriously, guys, this is the kind of shit you guys want me to answer. Guys, any kind of oil will work. A lot of military units overseas actually use used motor oil. In other words, when it's done being used in their motor, when they finally change their oil in their vehicles, which is like every 100,000 miles, they'll swap the oil in their military trucks. They will save that oil to lubricate their AKs and their belt-fed PK machine gun. It works. Will olive oil work? Actually, olive oil will work. That's what I lubricate my Spyderco with. I clean it and sharpen it every Monday while I'm making coffee. I got my diamond wheels in the kitchen, and then I lubricate it, the action on it, with olive oil, because I cut steak with it a lot. You ever get break free on your steak? You'll remember when you do. As far as, and Captain, I know you've got a lot of hand moisturizer around. I know you do. That's your go-to thing to have your hands on. I don't know, dude. I don't know. You have to let me know. And then suntan lotion. Really, dude, I have all the questions to ask. All right, John A. At Carl, I was looking at the Surefire M600 Vampire Scout Light for my main rifle. Is this a good one, or is there another Scout Light you would suggest? will use it with MVGs as well. I don't know if you guys understand what he's saying. The Scout Vampires, the ones with the V at the end, is same as the one on their pistol light. The V, the X300V. This is an X300. I believe this is a 300. Wow, guys. Yeah. All right, so this is an X300. The X300V is just a little bit longer. All right, and then don't confuse it with the X300U. The X300U is for ultra bright. It gets a lot hotter, a lot faster, but it's got like twice as many lumens. Not what I'm talking about. We're talking about the V for Vampire. It's a little bit longer, but that bezel on the front, you can turn it from white light to off all the way over to IR, and it gives off pure IR light to be used with your night vision. I run a X300V on my work pistol, on my gun belt. I also run a Scout Vampire on my duty rifle, my TR1. You guys will see it in classes. It's also on my old Grunt rifle, a couple other rifles, because I'm very big on having the capability of night vision. Now, it's still a great daytime light. So if you're going to run nods sometimes, but white light most of the time, I recommend you go with the Vampire option from Surefire, whether it's the Scout light on your rifle or the X300 Vampire for your pistol, your work gun. If you don't own nods and you're wanting to save money, just go with the regular Scout. Don't just buy it just to be Gucci. All right, a lot of people want the most expensive version of something. That's not me. I need high quality, yes, but I want capabilities that give me an increased lethality on the battlefield. So, yeah, if you've got access to nods, I am a very, very big recommender of the Surefire Vampire. That is awesome without a doubt, All right, Captain, I cannot believe you're asking how I lube my gun with other alternative shit. The Gustache 2531. Yeah, your mom named you weird as shit. Sir, if I'm assisting a victim with a chest or back torso gunshot wound, is there anything else I can do to stop internal bleeding besides a chest seal? A chest seal does absolutely zero for internal bleeding. That's just the reality of. The whole reason for putting a chest seal is over that entrance wound and over the exit wound is because a bullet also went through the lung, and basically you have compromised the vacuum between the chest wall and the lung itself. Understand, the lung is not a muscle. The only reason why it expands when the diaphragm drops. When you breathe in, that's your diaphragm going straight. It's not the lungs, the actual lung tissue is not expanding. So when you put a hole, that lung on that side will slowly start sucking in air and it'll start shrinking. Now, if you can quickly cover the hole, it may only shrink a little bit. But if it's been 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes, that lung's already completely collapsed. You can put on a chest seal, okay, but chest seal needs to be put on right away to keep that lung from deflating. Now, as far as internal bleeding, because remember, the whole job of your lungs is to get air into the alveoli that has a artery bringing in blood with no oxygen, and then a vein bringing out back to the heart a blood that has got now oxygen in it, and then it goes into your left atrium, goes back down into your left ventricle, and that artery goes up through your aortic arch and feeds the body blood that has oxygen in it. So every bit of your lung tissue has got little itty bitty capillaries that are exchanging that CO2. The more those come together, the larger those blood vessels get till they come back together at the top of the heart. You shoot the lungs anywhere, you're taking the chance of clipping one of them. Now, that bleeding inside the lung cavity ends up causing what's called a hemothorax. A pneumothorax is you got an air in there, but a hemothorax, it'll slowly fill up with blood. It will, it won't cause a tension hemothorax because it will only go as high as the blood pressure that the guy has left. All right. The only way to fix that is chest tube to get the blood out, and then the surgeon has got to crack the guy's chest, go in there and litigate off all of those bleeding vessels. There's nothing you can do to stop bleeding inside the chest or the abdomen. Now, I know guys want to say, well, I'll get in there and clamp it off. And full disclosure, as a Special Forces medic, if we had a big abdominal evisceration and we could pull the intestines out, I could find that mesenteric bleeder and I could tie it off with suture material, silk, right? 2O silk, to keep from having to just stop the bleeding in other ways, clamps and stuff like that. But as far as if it's not already, if the guy's gut's not torn up, I can't take a scalpel and fillet the guy on the battlefield to get in there to clamp off bleeders. That is above my level of skill as a surgeon, and I don't encourage anybody to do that. So how do you stop those bleeders inside the chest, inside the abdominal cavity, inside the pelvis? If you can pack in that wound, if it's in the armpit, if it's up here in the neck, if it's down in the pelvis, if you can feel the bleeder and pack in there, maybe get in there, clamp it off with a Curve Kelly hemostat or something, cool. But understand, guys, bleeding up here in the chest, in the abdomen, in the pelvic girdle, there are just some wounds that you're not going to be able to fix. Just not. If you were to line up 10 casualties on a modern battlefield, my 10 little stick figures, all right, 10 casualties, bad casualties, bad. Out of those 10, understand 4 of those they've got wounds that even if you don't care for them, chances are they're going to live anyways. 4 out of 10, those 4 are going to live anyways. Now, the other end of that spectrum, there's 2 that no matter what you do, even if you had a thoracic surgeon right there, chances are those 2 were going to die anyway. There's nothing you could do. Guys get shot right through this subclavian neurovascular bundle. They get shot either through the helmet or right under the helmet. They get shot straight through the pelvic girdle, completely shattering the pelvic girdle. Hit that bladder that's got all filled with urine, and it explodes like a bomb. All right. Understand, those 4 are going to live no matter what you do to them. Those other 2 are going to die no matter how good of skill you are. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is, so why do we train in trauma medicine? Guys, it's for these other 4 in the middle. These other 4 over here, these 2 are going to die anyways. But these 4 people right here will die if they don't get good medical care. And a lot of that care has got to be given immediately right there on the X. Before you drag him out of the road, put on that tourniquet, because you drag a guy, you realize how wide a road is, right? You drag him out of the road up into the DVD store, there's a trail of blood going all the way. You let him continue to bleed out for 30 more seconds. What you should have done was right there, get down next to him, put the tourniquet on his leg, then grab him by, ball that whole t-shirt up, grab it all, and you drag that guy off the street. You've kept all those red blood cells in the body. And that's why you guys need to take medical class. We actually just did our Tactical Combat Casualty Care course. And Travis Hall did a great job doing it. Captain actually attended the class along with a bunch of other great Americans. That's some good stuff right there. Woo! Woo, good stuff indeed. So anyways, I wish I could tell you that a chest seal is stopping the bleeding. It's not. You still, don't get me wrong, you still need to do chest seals. You do. Wow, Susan, I guess I'm falling behind. I am trying. All right. I'm trying. All right. All right, guys, I already did that one. Guys, I think I'm out of order here. Yep. or Susan sent one again. All right, this one's from the Donut Eater. This random guy has a question: is max parallax shift test of 1.5 left and 1.5 inches right at 50 yards normal for red dot? 1.5 what? Oh, inches left and right. Is that normal? I don't know. The reality is I don't like any parallax at all. To me, it's more important that you see and understand, hey, my scope, my red dot optic has got parallax. My 1 to 8 low power variable optic has parallax. My iron sights on my gun, if I don't have my iron sights lined up properly, I'm not going to hit my target. All right. So it's, as far as it being normal, understand, guys, all optics have parallax. Now, your more expensive sniper scopes, my Smith & Bender, my Swarovski, my Leopold, most of your sniper scopes, instead of having a rheostat on this left side of the gun here, left side of the optic, they have what a lot of people think of it as a focus knob, but it's actually a parallax reduction knob. And what you're doing is you're focusing the focal plane that has the target on it and your focal plane that has got your crosshairs. It's focusing them so they're on the same focal plane. When they're on the same focal plane, it doesn't matter where your eye is, they're the same. But if that is not adjusted perfect, again, you still have parallax. Can you do that on a scope this small, a low power variable optic? I guess you could, but understand they already do not have a large objective lens. So you're not transmitting very much light through it to begin with. And every time you add one more extra lens in there, because understand how it changes that focal plane, is you're literally adding one more lens in that erector tube, which is inside this other tube, okay? You're adding one more lens, so you're losing more light transmission again, all right? So it is what it is. All right, I have gotten way out of order here. Did that one. Matthew Dion, hey Carl, why is there no? I already did that one. All right, hey Carl, this is Andrew G19. I changed my name for a reason you will find out in your Instagram DM LOL, the Citizen 17. My question, is there any general bushcraft principles for a newbie like me? Yeah, always go out with a buddy. Don't ever go out by yourself. That's just the truth. All right, and then legitimately, you follows Colonel Rogers' rules of ranging. Again, they date all the way back to the French and Indian War, prior to the U.S. Revolutionary War. But I actually shared this list with my patrons on Patreon because they really are important. What he talks about is how much ammo should you carry, how you should build a fire, how you should pull security, why you should keep your knives sharp. All right. My Patreon knife here, guys. This is made by Kraken Tactical over in Australia. It's a beautiful knife. I wish you guys could fathom how sharp this knife is. Now, if you look at the blade, see that edge of that blade? That puppy has got miles on it. I have chopped and beaten so much wood. One of the pieces of wood I was trying to split had a old rusty nail in it. Doesn't matter. Did not ding. I resharpened it and it worked the dimple right out of the blade. Sharp knives and good field craft go hand in hand, but it takes practice. With practice, you make mistakes, and that's why buddy team. And it doesn't matter if it's just your spouse. all right? Because you need to be teaching your family members. But yeah, legitimately make sure you're practicing good safety. All right, did that one. This from Tiger Shark. Your mom must have gone to that Woodstock concert back in the 70s. I think I'm gonna call my son Tiger Shark. It's cool. It's cool. I'm not judging you. Tiger Shark. I was gonna call my son Thor. Right? That's a cool name. Last name Erickson. Thor Erickson. Right? It could have grown. My son's 6'5", right? Or that could have gone the other way. My name's Thor. I don't know, right? But my son's awesome. Nicholas was the perfect name for him. All right. Tiger Shark. Hey, Carl, this is probably a dumb question. I got the EOTech. Correct me if I'm wrong. You zero the gun with the bottom mill dot. All right. What you did was you got the EOTech that has got the two other dots below. And again, correct me if I'm wrong. Those are designed to be holdovers for if you're shooting like 300 blackout or something like that. The correct way to zero an EOTech or a red dot or a whatever or a 1X micro prism is, for me, if you're running a red dot that does not have a bullet drop compensator built into it, zero for your point blank zero. Now, I don't know, you didn't specify what caliber you're running this on. So, but for 5.56 or 308 or AK, basically your point blank zero, you're looking at 200 meters, all right? The bullet's not going to rise more than 5 inches or drop more than 5 inches with a 200 meter zero. You get you out to about 220. And what that does is it keeps you in the head. If you want full torso, you can do a different zero for a different point blank zero. But for me, I want to stay in the head because the reality is when that gunfight starts, if you've got 10 enemy walking across a rice paddy, as soon as you pull the trigger, they're not 5'7" anymore. They're not 5'7" anymore. They are down on the ground in the mud, and all you're going to see is head. So you need to be able to hit a 10-inch target. If you can't hit a 10-inch target at that range, wait for them to get closer. You need them in your effective range to hit a 10-inch target. All right. So for me, I zero the center of my EOTech at 200 meters. That gives me dead on. Not going to rise more than 5 inches or drop more than 5 inches all the way out to about 210, 220 meters, depending on the ammo you're shooting. All right. Yeah, those other dots in your EOTech are for holdovers. All right. Susan, I done lost my place again. I'm trying. I guess I'm falling way behind here. All right, I'm going to just jump in and I will fast forward here. I already did that one. All right, it was close. This next one's from Jim Whitaker. Carl, a follow-up from last week's bullpup question. If money was not a consideration, which would you choose? IWI, Desert Tech, Hellion, or Kel-Tec? Definitely not Desert Tech. Don't get me wrong, guys. This is a nice gun. The MDR is a nice gun. It's nice. All right. It's innovative in the intent that they have, but it is about as reliable as a Walmart can opener, and it is overbuilt, and it's way too heavy to be a 3. It's way too heavy because it'll handle 308. You can put 308 through it, but then you convert it to 5.56 or 300 blackout, and it is way too heavy to be them. And as a 308, it's no. Go with something that's proven. Honestly, I like the Steyr AUG and the Tavor, the IWI Tavor, but you specifically mentioned the Kel-Tec. Guys, Kel-Tec, a lot of people bash Kel-Tec as being cheap, But if you go back and look, keep an open mind, go back and look at all the different guns that Kel-Tec has come out with over the decades, and I say decades, the guy that started Kel-Tec was an inventor, and he would invent something, and then everybody else would copy it and run it to ground, and he'd be like, plagiarism is the greatest form of flattery, and then he'd make something else, and then other people would copy it and run with it. So their bullpup is not bad at all. It's really not. All right, not bad at all. All right. All right. I have no experience with the Hellion. Steyr AUG, Tavor, Kel-Tec. All right, Big Tuna. Carl, when you apply a chest seal on a soldier in the Middle East, was it affected by the helo flight to a trauma facility? Most of the Middle East is flat. All right. Now, Afghanistan, if they had to go up over the mountains, understand if you seal that chest, whatever air is inside that chest cavity, as you go up the altitude over the mountains, gases expand. That can cause a tension pneumothorax, but not in the Middle East. That is a flat son of a gun right there. All right. So your answer would be no, not in the Middle East. Next question is from Drew. Carl, I've shot deer in the lungs and they become mush. Does that happen to humans too? Yeah, that secondary cavitation, when you see me shoot ballistic gel and you get that big explosion in the gel and then it goes back in and it leaves that little, what we call a permanent cavitation, that trail of the bullet through the ballistic gel. That initial shock, that's called your secondary cavitation. Now, the lungs, because the lungs expand, they do much better than other organs like the liver or like your pancreas, your spleen. When you expand them that much, they don't sponge back. The lungs still get damaged, but not as bad. But you shoot somebody in the liver or the spleen or kidneys, that organ still expands, but it can't go back. It doesn't have the elasticity. It's a solid organ, and it ruptures, it tears. It makes for very, very ugly wounds. Very, very ugly wounds indeed. All right, chemistry student, Carl, semicolon. My visible IR pistol laser requires being unmounted to swap batteries. Any tips on confirming zero without access to a nighttime shooting range? Yeah. What distance do you plan on using your pistol IR light at with you? All right. And that's kind of why I like my Surefire XVL2, because you literally you twist the lights and you can access the battery to the front. But yours, I understand you have to take it off to swap batteries. Let's say you're planning on using this at 50 meters. 50 meters is a long shot with a pistol, right? All you've got to do is right around sundown, all right, go out in the backyard and put your red dot or your iron sights, all right, and you line up the pistol and then have Honey Bunny, your wife, your buddy, whoever, with their nods, because you can use nods in daylight around sunset. They can dial that IR laser over to the bullseye. In other words, if you're running a optic on your pistol, let's say, you keep that red dot from the optic on the bullseye. Now, with your naked eyes, you can't see the night vision, all right? But basically, you can dial it over because you've got Honey Bunny there to help you. Now, even if you're by yourself, literally all I do is I can see with my binos on my helmet, I look through my nod, dial this down, and you can see the reticle on your pistol, and then dial that laser over to, you don't have to fire around. You don't. That's the reality. Now, it's always best to go out and confirm with live ammo afterwards, but there's really nothing to confirm. If your sights were on at 50 and you know you can hit at 50, right? Your dot should be, and if your dot's right there, without you looking through the pistol wearing nods, you're going to hit. You're going to hit. It's literally that easy, guys. All right. Still falling behind, guys. I'm trying. Wow, I fell way behind that time. Sorry, guys. I'm trying. I need to just fast forward to Drew, chemistry student. All right. Next one is from Nicholas T. Hey, Carl, you have any time using TACCOM Alpha? If so, you think is worth the buy? I have zero experience with it. None at all. Sorry. Not going to regurgitate what people say on the internet. Cash Me Outside. That's a funny name. How do you mentally, physically, and emotionally deal with the possibility of impending violent death? I got upset once. I want to say I was like 9 or 10 years old. I started thinking about, well, what about if I died? You know, I've already lived my whole life. I mean, I'm like 9 years old. You know, I've only got a few more years till I'm as old as my grandmother, and then I die. What happens when you die? What happens to you die? And I talked to my mom about it. My mom's like, shut up. You know, you're 9 years old. You'll be fine. That's why you believe in God. All right. But the more I realize that, and guys, I've seen some divine intervention shit, right? Because it's so easy to say as you get older, well, and I have a couple times in my life said, well, dude, it's not cool to believe in God. Okay, so you quit believing. But then you start seeing divine intervention overseas. You start seeing, literally, we should have been killed right there, or literally that guy should have been killed right there, or literally this happens or that. And there's no way that mortar round explosion, dud, lands right next to you. Dud lands right next to you 3 feet away. Then the next one, mortar round blows up, next one blows up. Literally, these two, one on one side, one on the other, were duds. Row of explosions, dud and dud. Divine intervention. Not my time. Right? So how do you deal with it is, honestly, you don't think about it. You just don't. When I put on my body armor, basically, I got it in my mind that, well, I'm wearing my body armor, I'm immortal. I can't be killed. All right? Okay. What about when you're not wearing your body armor, Carl? You just don't worry about it. When you get scared overseas, it's more of, I don't want to let my buddies down. You want to run, you want to hide, you want to cry, you want to get down and not do anything. But the reason why you keep pushing and you squeeze that number one man and you go into the room is because he needs you. And the other 18 guys behind you need this to get done, and they need you to perform. And we train hard, we fail in training, and we push and we make training harder than combat will ever be. And you just don't, you reach a point where you trust your training, and that gives you confidence in your own ability. And you joke about it. You joke about it before you go out. You listen to your angry white man music, Disturbed, Metallica, Iron Maiden. We'd be jamming Iron Maiden, Die With Your Boots On, while we were kitting up to get on. You know, the siren going off, like, all right, we got to go right now. That's the tune that always seemed to play in the ready room. You do it. And when you get back, you laugh about things and you share stories. You have a couple drinks. After a good op, we would have cigars and a shot. You're not allowed to drink in theater. General order number 1, no alcohol in theater. We'd have a shot. We'd have a cigar after a good op. Funny part was I'd call my mom and I'd be like, hey, Mom, you can stop worrying about me now. Well, I didn't know I was supposed to be worrying about you. Exactly. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. And it works the same for you too. Don't worry about things that are going to happen down the road. That's fear of the unknown. That's what fear is. You're not fearing what you're seeing right now, what's happening right now. You have fear of what hasn't happened yet. And everybody has fear. All right. I'm scared to death of heights, but I have done 300-foot rappel. I did 1,000-foot rappel once. All right. I have jumped out of a perfectly good airplane at 27,000 feet. Okay. In the dark, wearing an oxygen mask, a rucksack, a sniper rifle, and my big MC4 parachute. Scared of heights, but courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is facing that fear and doing what needs to be done. And it's not hard, guys. It's not hard. And again, it's not for everybody. I know people that have phobias. My wife has a phobia of snakes. Completely loses her mind when she sees a snake. That's fine. And it was hard for me to deal with that kind of fear when I first realized she had this phobia. I thought she was messing with me. But that's just the reality of it, that some people can deal with fear better than others. We're not all the same. We're just not. I will never put anybody else down for not being able to do certain things that others can do. Not at all. We all have our strengths and weaknesses. Next question is from Joe Tompkins. Hey, Carl. Do you have any experience with high velocity, non-expanding defense ammo like the Norma NXD? I'm old, so I've always been loyal to the Hydra Shock. All right. A lot of your non-expanding ammo is designed for penetration. All right. What they call dangerous game. All right, your Cape buffaloes, things like that, your moose, your elk, your bears. Hydra Shocks are awesome rounds. They're designed to go in and expand. Same time Hydra Shocks came out, there was another company called Black Talons. The Black Talons, and they made them illegal because they were just so scary. Guys, the Hydra Shocks did, in my opinion, did just as good, if not better, than the Black Talons did. There's so many great rounds out there. There really are. As far as non-expanding ones, if you need penetration, cool. But at the same time, I want to be able to deliver all my energy to the target. And a non-expanding round is going to just push clean through that target. Now, if they're wearing body armor or thick clothing, or they're behind like the thin door on a vehicle or the windshield, I need to be able to get through that barrier. So I need barrier blind ammo. That's why I don't run frangible in my work gun, my truck gun, because I need to be able to get through barriers like windshields and car doors, stuff like that. But for home defense, I run frangible ammo in the house because it still zips through 2 layers of drywall before disintegrating. All right, it actually goes through 4 or 5 layers before disintegrating. But when it hits the fluid in the human body, it immediately disintegrates and gets butt ugly. All right, so good ammo. I'm big with it. All right, I already did that one. All right, guys, I don't see Steve Holland popping up yet. He'll get here when he gets here. James Mays, Carl, what type of air compressor do you use for overlanding? What is the name of it? I don't remember the name of it. The name's really irrelevant. But what I have is basically a 2-piston one that is designed to be hooked directly to the car battery. In other words, you can't just plug it into a cigarette lighter. I have a separate bag for it. By having 2 pistons, it pumps air twice as fast. It gets a little warm, but and then I have air hoses that I can hook to all 4 tires at the same time, so I can just check my one air gauge and I can inflate all 4 tires at the same time. They'll all be the exact same. So in other words, I sit that air compressor there hook it to the battery under the hood, hoses to all 4 tires. Works very good. Guys, if you don't know what he's talking about, if you own a vehicle, a Mercedes 4-door car, my son's little Toyota Corolla 4-door car, in the trunk is all his little bag of stuff that his dad makes him keep in the trunk. In there is a air compressor, tire gauge, but also a plug kit. All of your modern cars have a TPS system, tire pressure monitoring system. And what it does is when you tires get below a certain temperature where they're supposed to be, it'll set off a warning light on your dash. Hey, you've got a low tire. And shy of you hitting something bad enough to give you a full blowout all at one time, how most tires get destroyed is that tire gets lower, and then you don't even realize you have a flat. You drive on it long enough and then it blows out on you. But if you can catch a tire as soon as it picks up that screw or that nail, as soon as that light goes on, take the next exit, pull into the big truck stop, gas station, whatever, get out, pour your Coca-Cola all over the tire and look for bubbles. And you're going to see, oh, snap. I just had to do this in Nashville with my daughter. She just started as a nurse in Nashville. She got a flat tire, so her dad went down there. Hey, Steve, how you doing, brother?
Good, brother.
I went down there, found the screw. I pulled the screw out with my Leatherman, and I plugged her tire with a plug kit. That and a little air compressor is in my daughter's car. It's in my son's car. It's in my wife's car. I got one in my Suburban. The one that's in my Jeep is a little more robust, and it is designed to inflate all 4 tires at the same time. Steve, I'm sorry, dude, but we're all out. We've ran out. We're all out, Steve. Did you find the other bottle that was out there? You good?
I wasn't looking for it, no.
No. All right. Guys, Steve Holland. Hopefully I can do this without us losing all the graphics on the camera. I think we're good, Steve. What do you think? Yeah?
Yeah.
I think we're good. I'm going to slide that off Steve's face. I know you guys can't see that, but there's a box over Steve's face right now. There we go. I'm
Steve
going to put
doesn't
that
mind.
shit right there. So how's life for Steve Holland? You doing good?
Yeah, everything's going good.
Awesome, guys. If you're new to join us here, all right, because I understand TR Live is growing, and Steve Holland is a Special Forces Green Beret legend, a couple generations ahead of me, and I grew up and became great friends with Steve Holland during the Global War on Terror. He was getting ready to retire, and he took the group commander actually asked him not to retire. Said, "I need you to help us with force modernization, getting my guys what they need on the battlefield." I was one of those guys that would give Steve constructive criticism, and he got me everything that I needed. Steve was worth his weight in gold, making the world a better place.
Can I cash in on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Worth my weight? Okay, 205, I need 205 pounds of gold.
There you go. Steve, where you guys know Steve is he invented the 6.8. He is the guy that literally made the Mark 12 SPR, Special Purpose Rifles. Steve, and that's just one of a million things. I was a big fan of Steve bringing the miniguns in the theater for us to put on our Humvees. Steve did so much for the military. And anyway, Steve is a SF legend to SF guys. And you guys have the pleasure of having him here on our live streams. He tries to come up for as many Tactical Tuesdays as he can make it. And I have the honor of calling Steve a good friend of mine. And Steve, thanks for coming to hang out, dude. I
Always
appreciate
good to
you
be here, Carl. I appreciate you having me. Also, I love the TR Nation.
We do love these guys, don't we?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm going to check my calendar real quick just to make sure I'm not wrong here. Where's my calendar at? All right, calendar. Not next Tuesday, guys.
Captain, what's up?
The following Tuesday, the 30th. So in other words, not next Tuesday,
Mike
the one
Payne.
after that. We are going to be doing another Tactical Tuesday live stream, but we're going to do it from the Legion Distillery.
No.
Yeah.
Leatherwood.
Leatherwood Distillery.
Distillery.
Leatherwood Distillery.
Clarksville, Tennessee.
Clarksville, Tennessee.
Owned and operated by former 5th Group warfighters. The head guy, Andy Lane.
Woo! Andy Lane, I actually used him for a medical class. Travis had to miss one of the classes, and you found me,
Larry Bell,
Andy, and we had a great medical class. We really did. So why are we going to do it at a distillery? Because we're a bunch of raging alcoholics,
normally known as Kite Crow.
But the reason why we're doing it there is because we want to get closer to 5th Group, and we want to have a place where our 5th Group brothers can all come in and hang out, and we're going to get the old SF guys to come share war stories for you guys. It's going to be badass. Totally badass.
An artist formerly known as Kickfowl Jitsum.
All right, guys, you're right. Steve, there's a reason why we don't read that.
I love reading it.
I know you do, dude.
Yeah.
I specifically put it there so you could read it. I'll let Steve read the chat room. You boys. All right, I already did that one. We've had some great questions tonight while Steve was in.
Yes, I do. That's my Stevie Wonder.
Next one's from Tony Dotson. Tony, how you doing, brother? I have a question for Carl. I watched the shotgun breaching video in the archive, but no mention of the ammo used. What type of shotgun load is used for breaching doors? We call them Hatton rounds because some of your original frangible rounds were made by a company called Hatton. What they are is a solid slug made out of like compressed copper powder, but it is a frangible slug. So when you hit that locking mechanism in the door, that bolt, it hits and immediately delivers all of its energy, and you just basically get a powder. Now we're blowing that bolt out the other side of the door. It goes flying around the room. Would it hurt somebody if it hit them? Yeah, probably, but it's not going to kill them. But more important, though, I have shotgun doors, even with Hatton rounds, and gotten slivers of wood and stuff literally stuck into my leg. That would suck if you were shooting buckshot or lead slugs and you have it come back in your leg. It happens. There are a lot of military units that's all that they get are military ammo. And the U.S. military has buckshot and slugs. That's all they have. So special mission units, we get frangible rounds. So a lot of them are made by a company called ALS. If you look, if you guys have never checked out ALS, go to, I think it's ALS.com. They have got some of the best, less lethal, you're not allowed to say non-lethal anymore. They've got some of the best, less lethal stuff that's out there. Tear gases, smoke grenades, everything.
Susan Richer. Oi.
They also make a lot of great breaching rounds for the shotguns. There's lots of other specialty rounds that we use for the shotguns. Again, it's for breaching. But for example, let's say we use a wall charge on a concrete wall. We blow that wall charge. It's big enough. It looks like you've made a ship door through it, but there's a couple pieces of rebar there that are still in the way. There are actually 12 gauge steel rounds the teeth are forward instead of backwards, and those are for up to 5/8 size rebar. You literally put the barrel right up against the rebar, you pull the trigger, and that thing cuts the rebar. It would hurt like a son of a gun to get hit with one of those things.
Yeah, it might be a little more.
Yeah.
Big Fezzik, what's up?
Yeah.
Captain, read your question. There's a couple of harrowing situations that I didn't think I was going to get out of, but we won't go into that right now.
Victor came back with what brand of plug kit and where is it available? Honest guys, at a minimum, and there are some cheap plug kits out there. All right, don't get the ones with plastic handles. What I mean by that is don't get the cheap ones from like a truck stop. Your tire slime makes a plug kit that is decent. That's what I keep in most of my vehicles. The one that's in my Jeep, I believe it's got aluminum handles on it. I believe it's made by ARB, but it doesn't matter. Just get a high quality plug kit. Guys, it'll come with the rubber plugs. You just thread the needle. You get a reamer for cleaning out the hole, right? Different size screws, nails, whatever. It will ream and rough it up, round it up, and then you have another T-handle with a needle for putting the plug into the tire. It'll come with so many rubber plugs, and then it'll come with a little tube of basically rubber cement. You don't need to use rubber cement. So if it's tight, I will put the rubber cement on there, but I'm actually using it as a lubricant. You can plug a tire without glue on it, and it's already sticky enough. The rubber tire plug will plug a tire very, very well. If you guys are not familiar with what I'm looking with, you can go to our archives, tacticalrifleman.com, and go to our first year of videos. And one of my first 30 videos, I had how to plug a tire when you don't have plugs. Like literally, you can use rubber gloves, you can use shop rags, 550 cord, use just about anything to plug a tire. All right. What date again? My thing cut out. Susan, the 30th of August. Susan's asking, when are we doing this one at the Leatherwood Distillery? Susan has an event on the 30th, so she won't be able to help us out a lot. That's fine, okay, Susan, because we probably won't be taking questions that night. They wanted to do it. I tried to do it the following weekend, first week of September, and they preferred to do it in August, so me and Steve decided on the 30th. So Susan, if you can't make it, that's okay. I will get the other mods.
Susan.
Yeah.
Well, the main thing about the September piece is we have the 5th Special Forces reunion coming up in September.
Yeah,
and these guys are getting really, really busy to get set up for that. 17th through the 24th.
Yeah, 17th through the 20th. Yeah,
and it's a great celebration. Lasts a week. All the
47th? Is it 47th year?
I think it's no, because we already had the 50th.
All right, so
it's better 53rd, I think.
Whatever it is. Anyways, guys, it's week long. It's at 5th Special Forces Group on Fort Campbell. They finish it off with the picnic on the 24th. A15, my old unit, usually has a reunion the night prior, the 23rd. I don't know. I have not got an invitation for that yet, but the picnic is, I got it right there on my calendar already.
Okay.
It's the 24th. All right, gents, we are caught up on questions.
But just to go back to the 5th group reunion,
okay.
Just to let everybody know in TR Nation, the 5th group reunion is a celebration of the unit, active duty, special forces guys in the unit, and former 5th group guys. And it's also open to the public. So don't, look at it as, they're having a reunion and it's just for them. Any of you guys out there can come and visit all the different events that they're going to have on each day, to include, I don't know what the exact date is, probably going to be on that Saturday, but they have musicians come in, mostly from Nashville. All your big country western stars will be there playing live. I have to check their itinerary to see which performers are going to be there, but I know for a fact, normally, I know John Rich, because he's a fan of the
Is
TR
he coming
Nation.
this year?
And he almost always comes in.
Very cool.
We've had some awesome support.
Yeah,
from the
when
music
we
industry in
first came
Nashville.
back, Brooks and Dunn, was Dolly Parton came one year?
Yeah, Dolly Parton.
We have big names, guys.
Willie Nelson came one year. What's his name? The big guy with the violin.
Charlie Daniels, before he passed away.
Yeah, he would come all the time. God bless him.
Yeah. Sherry Champagne asking, Carl, have you had a chance to see Emery's new truck yet? No, I saw the video. Most of my patrons, you guys know, and all you guys know Emery Morgenstern does a lot for Tactical Rifleman. He's running around in this beat up blue Tacoma. I think it had 260,000 miles on it. It just reached the point where everything was dying on it. And Emery's like, I know I need a new truck, but I don't have any money for it. So what I did was I asked my patrons, hey, can you guys help out Emery? And I sat Emery down because Emery wouldn't do it. I sat him down in the kitchen. We were doing coffee one morning because he was here. Literally, he stays here at my house when we do classes. I made him start a Patreon.com account, and then I let you guys know about it. And enough of my patrons, enough of you guys signed up to support Emery that Emery was able to cover his truck payment and a little bit extra to help with the down payment. Some of you guys are very big no shit patrons of Emery, and Emery is very, very thankful. And that's kind of why I'm stressing it, is some of you guys literally went out of your way to help Emery out a lot, and Emery is very, very thankful. And to see a guy like that damn near in tears, just, Carl, hey, I can't say enough about all the help that your guys on Patreon got me. He just went up to Chicago a few days ago, a week or so ago now. Just got his truck. He filmed the video. It's on my phone. I was actually just showing my Aunt Helen at dinner because she was excited to hear that Emery finally got his truck.
Aunt Helen, skull.
And yeah. I'm going to turn that mic down a little bit, guys. It is spiking just a little bit. Sorry about that.
What is Kraken Tactical?
Kraken Tactical, that's John. John makes he's in Australia.
Okay.
Not with Susan, near Susan.
Knives.
But he is a custom knife maker.
We love knives.
He actually made this one for my patrons. Ooh. That's not the actual one that we decided on, but it's very, very similar. And
Nice.
Then, did you see
Good
Randy's
feel.
knife?
Oh yeah, you showed me the one that came in a
big,
bag.
The big cowboy
bag.
one? Yeah, what a monster that was.
Well, you guys on the TR Nation know I love when I come on the show, I like to bring a.
What knife did you bring today, Steve? Why don't you show us?
Well, you just showing me this Kraken, so I don't want to step
Kraken
on
makes
top of him.
Okay, Kraken
or
makes
them,
good stuff.
whoever they are.
It's one guy, Kraken. His name's John. He's one of my patrons.
Really?
And
I remember the big knife you showed me that was in the bag.
Randy,
the Randy knife.
So this guy makes some great custom knives.
Anyway, we'll get back to the haversack later.
No, we can do haversack right now if you want. Let me get caught up while you're busting it. While you're busting out your haversack. All right. We only got a couple more to go. This one's from Rue Ridge. Discussed the OSS suppressor last month. Evidently renamed the Hux Works. Improved and has been chosen by FBI for HRT and all other 5.56 weapons. Any thoughts? Honest, dude, I don't have any experience with it. To me, a suppressor's a suppressor. Now, there are, within reason, obviously I want it lighter. I want it, I wish I could take all of you guys to SHOT Show in Vegas and let you see
that'd be awesome.
All the suppressors, all the guns that are out there. And you go to the range day, and there's 600 booths on the range, and they're like, "Hey, dude, what you got? Show me what's the latest and greatest. We got this new titanium suppressor. Okay, let me shoot it. So what do you think? It felt like I had a suppressor on the end of my Glock. It's the same weight as that guy's titanium suppressor, and it was just as accurate. And my reason for saying this is I'm not putting them down. What I'm saying is there's a lot of marketing fluff on a lot of stuff, but very, very seldom does somebody come out with something that is legitimately cutting edge, brand new.
Well, how we describe what Carl's talking about in the combat development force modernization world is evolutionary versus revolutionary. So he said it's very seldom that somebody comes out with a suppressor that's revolutionary.
Yeah. They evolve. They get a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. I got one here from Jerry J. He's our former Czech special ops guy.
Yeah,
he's now in New Jersey. Works in New York City. Jerry is a
God bless
good
you.
guy. Yeah, I know. He's deep behind enemy lines. Carl, comma. Did you try scuba when you were in unit? No, actually, every Special Forces company has got one Halo team, one Halo team, one scuba team. Now, Steve back when he was doing green light. I know we're not allowed to talk about green light. They had Halo scuba teams. I got that. But modern SF, because understand, if it is a real world scuba combat op, it's going to go to the SEALs, and it should.
Yeah,
right?
it should,
Then there's a lot of land-based missions that should never have gone to SEALs. Why? Because they're not meant to be more than a couple kilometers from the beach. That's just the truth. That SEALs are made for hitting the beach.
God bless them.
Yeah, God bless them. But they suck in landlocked countries. Wow. All right.
Yeah, one of the things that when I got to the unit and I got assigned to that company, and we had Halo scuba teams, one of the team sergeants, I was going to a scuba team, and the team sergeant asked me, he said, hey, you're a black guy, swim. I said, obviously, I made it through a Q course. I know how to swim. And he said, okay. And I told him I was a lifeguard in high school in Jekyll Island, Georgia, and stuff like that. And he basically told me one thing that basically made me decide to go to the Halo team. He looked me straight in the eye. He goes, here's the thing about scuba, offshore late at night. Enter the water, enter the food chain. I said, okay, I don't want to be part of the food chain. One of the guys was telling me they were swimming, underwater with the dive board, swimming, navigating, 15, 16 feet deep. And he said something bumped him and moved him over. And he thought it was his dive buddy. He said he turned and looked at his dive buddy and see what he wanted. And his dive buddy was like 15 feet behind him. He could see his light. He could figure out what it was that bumped him. He said, hey, man, I was 225 pounds with gear, and it moved me through the water like I was nothing. I said, no, I don't want that experience.
So I ended up going to Halo team because that's what my sniper team was.
High altitude, low opening.
1-4, that was my team. 514, that was the Halo team, Halo sniper team. 1-5, Travis Rolfe was on 1-5. That was a scuba team for our SIF company. But the reality is you're not going to infill. If it's a real world hostage rescue, the SIF company is not ever going to go in by scuba. That's just you're never going to infill your snipers that way. So I'm very big on what do I need to do to accomplish the mission. So I can swim, guys. I actually swim very well. That's why I put the swimming pool in the backyard. It's great exercise. I never went to scuba. Never. There's a bunch of schools I didn't go to, guys. You only have so much time. Understand, we still went to schools nonstop. But then with all of our deployments, even before the towers fell, we were deployed 6 to 9 months out of every year.
Yeah.
Now, that's not counting. Now, remember, 6 to 9 months. So even if it was a year where you were only gone 6 months, you do most of your training at home, right? Going to the range, going to language lab, going to the demo range, parachuting, doing all that back in CONUS, continental United States. So your time with your family was very, very, very minute. All right, now.
No, so back to what you were saying about on your team, 1-5.
1-5.
It's funny you should mention it. I was just chatting with a couple of guys, old time guys. I don't know if you remember Mike Flick. He was on 1-5, and Mike Flick and Norm Houghton.
Houghton, yeah.
For you guys that don't know who Norm Houghton is, Hotten, Norm is the 5th Special Forces Group soldier that eventually went over to Delta Selection, got in Delta, and during the operations in Somalia, Norm is the guy that he's portrayed in the movie Black Hawk Down as the character Hoot, which is played by, I forget the guy's name, but he was the guy that went with the Rangers and Delta guys. But Norm was on 1-5, and Mike Flick was on 1-5, and we are setting up a TR Nation, TR Live show, and we're going to have Norm on the show.
Nice.
And Norm has agreed. It's just that geographically we're separated right now. Norm's in Florida. We're here in Kentucky.
We'll make this.
And we're going to make it happen. So you guys who know Black Hawk Down and you know the character portraying what Norm did on that one mission, he's just awesome. But he's a great guy. He's an awesome patriot.
Joe S. Carl, can we see your new ATS belt? Not right now, guys. It's up in the car. I'll tell you what. I'll bring it down for the next live stream. I'll remember. I'm gonna
Semper Paratus. He said, "Oh, he loves Kershaw knives, brother. I love myself some Kershaw knives. You know,
Kershaw makes good knives.
Kershaw makes good knives. I got my little Kershaw here, and I also got my window busting
Tuesday.
whatever. I don't know what the models are, but you know, I love myself some Kershaw knives. Obviously, if I'm carrying two, my daily carry, I like them.
Not bag. I can't talk because I carry two knives. I carry my Spyderco and I carry my my Leatherman multi-tool. So I guess I've got two knives on me too. All right, so YouTube, you can't bash me. I didn't pull out a gun. I'm leaving my guns in their holster.
Speaking of that, and we also have the
Benchmade.
The Benchmade.
All right.
Love this on your tactical belt. Awesome. On your Batman
Matthew
belt.
Dion. Hi, Carl. Hi, Steve and Carl. Does barrel break-in aid in accuracy and barrel life on an AR? Sorry if this has been asked before. Go ahead, Steve. Barrel break-in on an AR. What's the point of barrel break-in?
Typically, on barrel break-in, and it goes into the metallurgy of the barrel, especially when you're dealing with chrome moly barrels and stainless steel barrels. Okay, if you take, I don't know what kind of scope people use, you know, some kind of micron scope, and you look at the metal, especially inside the lands and grooves, where it actually gets enough magnification where you see the pores in the metal. When they run that reamer through that barrel, it's cutting that metal. Once they get to that certain bore size, they come back out and then they follow up. It's kind of like when you sharpen a knife. You go with a rough stone, a medium stone, and then a fine stone. You gotta hit it with the fine stone. Okay. Some companies have a level of manufacturing where they kind of like finish the barrel between the medium stone and the fine stone, because if they took time with that certain reamer that goes in there and just totally smooths that barrel out, that's going to raise the price to you, the customer. So when you get to really, really accurate barrels, say sniper rifles, like, you know, the M24 and the AR-10s, the Mark 11s, everything else, you get a little bit more manufacturing smoothing it out. In order to do that yourself, you're going to have to go in there with basically this, I forget the name of the company. We used to do it down at the sniper locker, but it's just an abrasive chemical. And you go in there with a brush first, and you put a medium abrasive, and you hit it, you know, maybe 100 times, and you go back with the cleaning patch, and you put the fine abrasive material, and you work it, and you work it, and you work it till it's absolutely smooth. There's no sharp edges. There's nothing in there. Shooting a break-in is the same thing. It's and the break-in procedure, everybody says it's different. I know with the bench rest shooters, they're shooting for quarter minute of angle. They got a different procedure. I know with our sniper rifles, our break-in was 200 rounds, and you would start with shoot 10, clean it. Hit it with a little bit of very fine, that whatever that stuff was. Go through there. Then you get to 20 rounds and clean it. Then 30 rounds and clean it. Then you keep, as you get further down the round count, there's less cleaning. But then when you get to 200, that barrel should be properly broken in. And one of the things you can do is always do apples to apples comparison. Shoot the rifle first. Get it on groups. Cold barrel 0, shoot for groups, then clean it out. Maybe, 50, 60 times, and at 50 rounds, check your groups again. Then clean it again. You have to do this the same day, but see if after 200 round break-in, there's a difference in the group size at 10 rounds and 200 rounds. Now, in AR, some people say, well,
this is the part. This is the part where he's gonna say, "Don't fucking make a shit in the AR. Just pour that ammo through that son of a gun."
Yeah, I mean, with an AR, unless you want to like something like a designated marksman rifle,
yeah,
like the Mark 12 SPR,
That's an accurized barrel.
Listen,
You do a break-in.
barrel.
You do.
Do a break-in. Because, I mean, that barrel, we were running...
77 grain Black Hills.
Black Hills,
Yep.
the Mark 262. We were using on the original Mark 12s, 18-inch barrels, some of them were 20. We ran Douglas, and then we went to the 16.5-inch barrel on the Mark 12S barrel Mod H. Those are Noveske barrels. And, I mean, we went to Noveske because, I mean, the barrels he offered us, with the quality and the price was really, really good. And he proved himself because we sent out barrels to Crane and to the Army Marksmanship Unit down at Fort Benning, and they shoot them on the bench device, whereas in the bench locked in. I mean, this bench is like 500 pounds, and they have this system where they lock the gun in and they shoot it, and they tell us, hey, this barrel shoots this way, this barrel shoots that way with the ammo that you provided us, and that is what gives us our guidance to make a contract decision.
I actually got to see that up at Crane and down at AMU. That was very impressive. All right, guys, that's it on questions. So, Steve, what's up with that haversack you carry around all the time?
Oh, so who was the tactical rifle member who first asked me? He said, "Hey, is that a haversack?" We was like, "Does Steve have a haversack?"
Who knows, dude?
Yeah. And so now
they were asking Carl, "What do you think about it carrying a haversack?" And I was like, "No, I don't know."
So, what's in the haversack today? Well, you saw the Benchmade was in there.
Yep.
Oh, here's one of my favorites. I'm gonna let you play this and show it that one.
Guys, it's even got little air holes in it. Basically, this is for shanking somebody in the kidneys.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Take what they give
from
you.
the front, guys, you see the triangular cut. The old Chicom bayonet on the SKSs. These were made, basically, those bayonets in the U.S. are illegal. Because when you stab somebody with this thing and you pull it out, the three-way cut automatically closes and does not bleed at all. Meanwhile, the guy is still bleeding like a stuck pig on the inside.
And when the medic goes to
the
close
medic
it up,
is going to miss that wound.
You actually have to stitch in triangular instead of like a slice. He can close that up real quick. But if you got a 3-star cut, it makes it very, very difficult.
That's not plastic like a lot of them are.
These
milled aluminum.
This is actually steel.
Titanium, I think.
Yeah. No, this steel, my good friend Mark Woolman makes these, and he made these for the first responders up in New York. He's from New Jersey. This steel is the steel from the World Trade Center.
Is it really?
Yeah. And they gave him the steel and said, "Would you make, something for us?" He said, "Well, what
do you want?" Yeah.
So he played around with, I can't make a knife. I got all this steel, so he came up with the shank, and I always ask him, I say, "Mark, would you come on the show? Mark, can you give us, a point of contact or how Tactical Rifle Nation members can reach out to you and get their own, because he makes them in all."
I want you guys to see
Coyote FDE.
How sharp that puppy is on the tip. Can you guys fathom how sharp that thing is? That puppy's sharp. I know the camera won't focus on it. Guys, it is so sharp. I cannot even, and I got calluses in the palm of my hand. I cannot even let go of that thing in the palm of my hand. And it doesn't weigh very much. It's just literally that sharp. All right, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool, Steve.
Yeah, I've actually been trying to get him to make some specific to TR Nation. And we're still in discussion.
We got, we had another question just came in. This one is from Cash Me Outside. If you were going to get a precision barrel for a Winchester Model 70, which manufacturer would you go with? Who are you liking right now, Steve? I like Proof barrels, but there are other good barrels.
Yeah, Proof
out
Research
there.
is really good barrels. Good friend of mine, John Clements. He used to build all our 300 Win Mags up at Crane, and he went to run the weapons program for Dev Group. Now he's out civilian, and he works for Proof Research, and he's a go-to guy.
Emery's actually working with another barrel company down in Nashville. I mean, not Nashville, down in Florida, and I cannot remember the name of the company. Shit, but they make really good barrels also.
It's so many companies out there. Again, it goes back to what you were talking about with the suppressors.
Yeah.
Evolutionary and revolutionary. Proof Research, to me, is revolutionary.
Yeah.
They're on the expensive side. I don't own a Proof Research barrel rifle.
He did say if you were going to get a precision barrel for a Winchester Model 70, what manufacturer would you go with?
If I had the coin, I would more than likely go with Proof Research. I've seen.
Me too.
We didn't get a chance on the last show when we were down at Outdoor Armory with Outpost Armory with Chris Barrett. We didn't get a chance to go over to the factory, but they have a lineup of different Barrett rifles, especially when you get to the bolt action 50s and a Mark 22, the MRAD, with Proof Research barrels on them.
Really?
Yeah, that's hot. That's hotness right there. But again, that's
Emery's the company Emery's working with is called Ballistic Advantage. Again, they're out of Florida. They're supposed to have very, very accurate barrels. Good stuff indeed. All right. So we are caught up on questions. Steve, we're going to do a giveaway.
Okay.
But here's why. Remember a couple weeks ago we did a giveaway of, I got these patches in. They were from Five Stone Coffee. He sent me some swag. And then I tossed in a Tactical Rifleman patch to go with it. And then I threw in a Tactical Rifleman sticker to go with the whole thing. And somebody won it. And I asked for, hey guys, that you've got to send me an email at tacticalrifleman1@gmail.com and I'll mail you your stuff. All the winners we've had, and my son just mailed off a ton of stuff. There was a bunch of different winners, right? The 3 things that Chris Barrett autographed last week. We shipped all those stuff out to all my winners. The guy that got the T-shirt got his stuff. The guy that got the gun bag got his. The guy that got the hats, they got their hats. That was awesome. The problem, though, was the guy that got the patches, I never heard back from him. So, guys, we're going to give his stuff away. So, it's actually not true. His stuff is upstairs waiting to get the email. I remember I had 2 sets last time. So, again, guys, Five Stone Frontline Coffee. It's the stuff I'm drinking right now. It's the stuff I drink most of the time. He sent me a couple swag patches, just cool stuff. I'm going to send those, but I'm also going to throw in a Tactical Rifleman patch, just like the one off my hat. I'm not wearing my hat today, or I'd give you mine. Tactical Rifleman sticker. Normally, guys, you got to attend a class to get this stuff. We're going to give all of them. But to win this giveaway, you've got to enter. And best adult dating site, you're not going to win. All right? Why do these guys spam my chat room? I don't know. All right, so here's how you enter. I appreciate you asking. In the chat room, I need you to say, Steve is awesome. That's it. 3 words. Steve is awesome. You're allowed to enter up to 3 times. 3 times. 3 times. Enter more than that, you automatically get bumped out. The program automatically bumps you out of it. It is, let's draw at 9 o'clock. We'll draw it at 9 o'clock. We'll go for a little while. I'm going to let Steve vent a little bit. I'll tell you what.
We're still doing haversack.
Yeah, we'll do haversack. I'll tell you what, though. We'll draw, I'm going to have Susan draw at 8:45. We're going to make this a quick one. So you guys start entering. Steve is awesome. Remember, you can enter up to 3 times. Why is this important? 1, because Steve is awesome, but we do giveaways every week. And
go Steve.
We have given away lights and lasers. We've given away optics. We've given away autographed gun cases by Chris Barrett. We've given away a bunch of good stuff. I'm trying to get firearms to give away. I can no longer do that. But I've got more optics to give away. I'm not giving away optic tonight, but I'll tell you what. Next Tuesday we'll do a giveaway of another light laser combo that will fit on like a Glock 43X or Glock 48. I think it'll fit on the P65 365 also.
Oh, there we go.
What do you got, Steve? Nice. Guys, that's 308. All right, so
That's M118LR.
normal M118LR. This is 175 grain Sierra Match King. And you see how dark the brass is? That's very, very hard brass. It's got a nice military grade primer in it. This is the standard for military ammo, right? For military snipers. Now, what Steve has is a polymer cased 118LR. It's the exact same projectile. Is the
Exact same powder.
Exact same powder, everything. Guys, it is a little bit light, a little bit lighter, not a lot of bit lighter, a little bit lighter.
35% lighter.
But there are other advantages of having a polymer case. What are those advantages, Carl? For one thing I didn't really realize is they flash form tighter. You're not losing as much gas going around it. They are lighter. But for me, one of the coolest things when Steve and Sularu started explaining the whole polymer case thing to me is, let's say I want to do subsonic 308. All right. Traditionally, my subsonic 308 would only have about that much powder in the bottom. So if I had my gun up and I went like this, all my powder would be in the back of the cartridge. And then when I laid my gun down to shoot, all the powder was back here. There was no gunpowder up here. When the primer goes off, it blows powder everywhere, and I get one burn. But let's say the next time I go to shoot subsonic, I'm marching with my gun, and all my powder is laying in just the bottom of my casing. Now when I go to shoot, when that primer goes off, it flashes over the top of all the gunpowder. It burns at a different rate. And what happens is my subsonic ammo shoots low, one, shoots high, the other, because they're leaving at different speeds. What to do. So to fill the whole casing, they actually messed around with using what's called fillers. Basically things that don't burn, confetti. And it just didn't work very, very well. Here's the cool part about these polymer casings. Instead of making, like for 118LR, this polymer casing is as thin as this one, so they can fit the same amount of gunpowder. But for my subsonic one, they can make this plastic wall a lot thicker, a lot thicker, and then that smaller powder charge, instead of sitting at the bottom, it goes all the way up the middle.
Yeah, that's what reloaders talk about, load density.
Load density, and it is consistent every time. And you can't do that with a brass round. You can't. So anyways, you don't see a lot of polymer cased ammo out. You don't. Now, this is not, what was that company that ripped your buddy off? You don't
polyammo, something like that.
Anyways,
anyway, the guy that designed
True Velocity,
this,
wasn't it?
or True Velocity, they didn't necessarily rip him off, but they did. From my understanding, what I was told by a reliable source, the guy, he went through 2 or 3 different companies, and every time the investors and the presidents or vice president, everybody wanted to get ahead of the game. Oh, we're going to make millions. We're going to make millions. I said, no. Make quality ammo. The millions will come to you. Mm-hmm. But of course, they
want mass.
They want money right now. I'm a true believer in it, and I've worked with the guy for almost 10 years, 12 years maybe. It's 30% lighter. Cost will be lower than brass ammo, because brass is at some point you're not going to be able to dig any more brass out of the ground. Mm-hmm. And with climate change and everything else, everybody's like against stuff like that. Is when we're proving this, it's more accurate. And here's why: when they form the polymer around the bullet. Okay, they're not. Some people do, but these guys were not. They're not seating the bullet into a polymer case. They're forming the polymer around the bullet. So the concentricity tension on the neck on the bullet is 360 degrees, equal, even. And if you have ammo, even with crimp ammo, if you think about it, they put a crimp in the bullet. For one, you're already knocking off your accuracy because you're crimping down.
You're denting it.
Yeah, you're putting a deformation somewhere on that lead core. So when you push down on the neck to go into the crimp, that machine doesn't put tension all the way around. So somewhere there's going to be, I know the engineers have a fancy word for it, there's going to be a bad spot, is what I call it. And the bullet's going to come out. This right here is equal all the way around. The other thing is, and I think the most wonderful thing, and we proved this with tests at Crane, the polymer is not conductive. Okay? Somebody say, damn, Steve. Speak a big word. When it fires, it's not transferring heat to the chamber. Brass, being conductive, transfers heat to the chamber. So what happens? The gun heats up faster. The barrel heats up faster. You know how we had problems with the M4s where we went to the M4 heavy barrel. You have machine guns. You have to let them cool off. The polymer, we were shooting at Quantico with the Marine Corps. It's a long story. I'm not going to go that far into it. But as the gun was firing in the cradle, this is a 5.56 SS-109. I would when it ejected the polymer case, I would catch the case in my hand as it came out on ejection, and I turned to the Marine Major that was there watching the test. I caught the polymer case and I threw it to him like it was hot, and he was like, and then he said, oh my gosh, that's not even hot. I said, no, sir, it's not. That was my point. You expected hot brass. It's not hot. It's not transferring that heat to the chamber wall and to the front side of the barrel and down the barrel. So basically, what we found out is because you're not transferring that energy through the brass heat to the chamber wall, all that energy that you will lose with brass was giving this ammo with the same powder load, same primer, about 25 to 30 feet per second more velocity because it wasn't transferring all that energy into the wall of the chamber of the rifle. And to me, that's absolutely amazing. So all you guys asking, how can I get a really accurate
half
barrel?
them away with green tip projectiles. I remember Steve telling me this. He's like, Carl, they're getting half them away with green tip. I'm like,
yeah.
Come on, Steve. He's like, no, seriously. I was like, well, it must be being hand loaded. And he's like, no, dude, it is. So yeah. So why didn't it ever go into mass production?
Because
you guys understand this is a rare box of it. That's why it's got writing all over it. This is from Steve's personal collection.
Everybody understands how the swamp works. DC,
The swamp,
the military industrial complex, Lake City ATK turns out about $600 million a year in 5.56. Nobody wants anybody else to step into that business and take that away from them. Every time we would go to...
By the way, we got our winner real quick.
Okay.
Axe Kicker. AXKIKER. Axe Kicker, you're my winner. The TR patches and 5-stone frontline stickers. Guys, he's won. So Axe Kicker, to redeem, take a picture of your avatar and email it to tacticalrifleman1@gmail.com, and which is awesome, right? Congratulations on winning. Make sure you tell me, hey, I won the stickers and patches from 5-stone. I'll make sure you get them. I will, but you gotta email me. All right. Here's the deal, guys. I know a lot of you have been getting comments on your comments on our videos from they got my little logo, but then it's like text me or this, that, and the other, and they're telling you, hey, thanks for commenting, by the way, you've been selected, you just won something special prize. Text the number above or go to our Telegraph account, Tactical Rifleman. I don't have a Telegraph account, guys. You understand? I don't do social media. We have Instagram. We have Facebook connected to that because they're together. Nada. So you understand that's a scam. If you get a text from me saying that you just won an AK and all you got to do is pay $200 tax, and you get an AK, I think they even say it's a full auto one. I don't know. Understand you're being scammed. So if I do a giveaway on a live stream and you're seeing me give this away, email me. But if you get a text just because they put this logo at the beginning, if you were to actually pull up the IP address, you understand it's probably in Russia or Seattle, Washington, deep outside of the continental United States. You know, it is not coming from America. It's definitely not coming from me. So why are we getting all this spam? One, it's not just our channel, it's other gun channels. But you realize that 90% of your hacker, probably 97% of the hackers on the planet are insanely liberal. Insanely liberal. The movie The Girl with a Dragon Tattoo is a very accurate depiction of the whole hacker world. All right, they are very, very liberal, and they don't like people like me. They don't. So they try to shit in my mouth, and that's okay because God's got everything on DVD, and He's going to pay them back when they go before the pearly gates. Heaven forbid He give them to me. Let me catch a motherfucker.
Where we at?
We just did the giveaway.
Who got it? Who got
it? Susan said his name was Axe Kicker. Axe Kicker.
A-S or A-X?
AXKIKER. Again, guys, donate if you'll put, or Chemstone, if you guys will put it in the chat room, how this guy needs to redeem. I will get these prizes out to him. Okay. Precision Barrel. Steve Carr, I'd like to hear you speak on national security, contemporary issues each Tuesday. What are your thoughts concerning the U.S.-Mexican border, illegal aliens, the gotaways? Here's the deal, guys. We're not supposed to do politics here for good reason, all right? This is the whole point of Tactical Rifleman is for me to make the world a better place, sharing all the mistakes and successes that I have had over my years in the military. All the mistakes and successes that Steve has had, Randy, Emery, all these guys. We share tips and techniques, all right, to make the world a better place. We don't do tactics on the open internet. If you want tactics, you got to come take a private class, all right? We do not do tactics on the internet. Now, the reason why I try not to get into politics
The reason why he tries not to get into politics,
because you would think, no matter what I say, I'm going to piss off half of you.
Piss off 2/3 of you.
I should only piss off half of you because the other half are, you guys are all gun lovers. So you would think that maybe everybody here in the chat room, I'd only piss off maybe 20% because 80% of you agree in everything that I say. Except you don't. All right. What we have found, statistically speaking, is not only do I piss off half of you, I piss off more than half of you because I'm not Republican. I'm definitely not Democrat, but I'm not Republican. I am American. I am American 100% through and through.
Okay. We got to go back and correct something. When you said I'm definitely not Democrat, you're moving your left hand like this, almost like you were indicating I'm not Democrat. Like you pointed to me.
No.
So
I was not pointing at you, Steve.
The optics are saying that, is Carl pointing towards Steve? So let's correct that.
Guys, Steve is green just like I am. All right, Steve.
And I've got a shank.
All right. Now, Steve might be Republican. I don't know. That's his own personal preference. But I am very, very American, guys. I hate the deep swamp on both sides. I'm not real big on what's happening down at our border right now because no matter what party you're with, they should be taking care of America. And an open border does not do that. Now, and don't get me wrong. I'm a big believer in legal immigration. All right. The problem, though, is it's not just the politicians. It's not. The farmers can't get anybody to pick their tobacco. They can't. The local rednecks won't do it.
And if you've ever tried it, you wouldn't want to do it. Picking tobacco sucks, guys.
Yeah, it does. The local rednecks won't do it because they can stay home and collect welfare and not pick tobacco. So they don't do it. So the farmers need the migrant workers. All right. Everybody that owns a hotel, look at 70 to 80% of the people cleaning those hotel rooms. Go to Beverly, just go to LA in general. Every rich guy in LA has got a nanny and or a maid, and they can't afford to pay somebody because to live in LA is expensive. They can't afford to pay an American to do that.
Suffering succotash.
They can't. So they all, and these are not just politicians now, they like having all the shadow people, the underworld of illegals in America. It's an entire slave culture, guys, and it bugs the shit out of me because my country is supposed to be better than this. The Civil War, we did away with legal slavery. There is so much unfairness going on. And you want to talk about child sex trafficking. You want to talk about illegal aliens doing all the labor that nobody else wants to do. That the reality is that's America. That is America. And there's not a politician that's going to change that because they all like, and it's not just for votes, guys. It was all the Republicans say, well, the only reason why the Democrats are letting these people in is because they're going to vote Democrat. And they don't vote. Most of them don't vote. All right. And a lot of the ones that do vote Republican. All right. They're Catholics. Right. Yeah, and you guys are understanding now why we're not supposed to talk politics here because I'm going to piss a lot of you guys off. I really am. Guys, I apologize. I am not politically correct. I am not politically correct. I am correct. I'm not politically correct. So I don't care if I piss people off. Steve, feel free to turn that off.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Steve was watching himself on the internet.
The guy I was talking about on the polymer ammo, the guy that actually... He's a patent holder. He was just texting me saying he wanted to watch the show. Okay. Going back to this, when we said why it didn't ever succeed, and I was talking about the military-industrial complex and the Beltway in D.C. and the swamp. At the time when they were doing this, they were working on the LSAT ammunition, which is what they call telescoping ammunition. Basically, it's a definition for a $375 million project that they've been running that basically they're taking shotgun sabot technology, and we've all been shooting shotgun slugs and sabots forever. And they came up with this, and this is supposed to be revolutionary versus evolutionary. The problem is, this will not shoot in what we call legacy weapons. This will shoot in legacy weapons 308s. Bolt guns, semi-automatics, full automatics, light machine guns, heavy machine guns. This will not. This requires a brand new rifle, brand new system. So they wanted this to succeed, so they shut this down. This right here still is succeeding. As in the Army
failed. It still failed.
The Army went to
this is not good stuff, guys. And I gave it the benefit of the doubt. I did. I got to push it through, so these guys can see it. I understand a lot of you guys don't have a sniper background, but basically when that primer hits, when firing pin hits the primer and that gunpowder starts burning, soon as that bullet moves, you want it to move just a little bit so it starts moving, but then you want it to hit those lands and grooves. Contact the lands and grooves.
It's called lead.
And immediately start spinning. Yes.
That's accuracy.
How far would that have to travel in order for it to hit the lands and grooves?
And don't look at the tip.
Not the tip, guys. Down here is where it's wide. Right. So literally, instead of it having to move like 0.04 of an inch, it's having to go like 0.55 of an inch. Yep. And
the interesting part about that is, we're going to do it for the Tactical Rifleman Nation. I can take this bullet out, take the powder out, pour it out, pop the primer. Okay. Take the
118 LR.
118 LR. I can take the projectile from this M118 LR, 175 grain Sierra Match King, 2,600 feet per second. Put the primer from this into the polymer case. Put the powder from this, pop the bullet, pour this exact same powder in about, let's say, 10 polymer cases. Then reseat the bullet I took out of the brass, and then shoot groups with the polymer. And I'm telling you, it will shoot equal or more accurate than the brass. But you get the 35% weight reduction, less transference of heat to the chamber of the rifle, and less cost. So basically, this right here threatened this program. This right here was being done for about, I don't know, $4 or $5 million startup for the machines and everything else. And the telescoping case ammo program has spent over like $375 million.
Oh, dude, they've pissed away so much money.
And here's the crazy thing about this for you reloaders. I don't have it with me, and maybe I get called to post the pictures some other time. I was shooting polymer 338 Lapua out of a Barrett MRAD for accuracy. We shot the groups, 5-round groups, I think about 300 yards. I took all the cases of 338 Lapua Magnum polymer cases back, and I hand loaded each one. The amazing thing is, if you guys know anything about hand loading, you have to size the case. Basically, it's a fire form case. You fired it, you got to reform the case back to SAMI specs. You're going to push it, the sizing die is going to push the case shoulder back. It's going to take the neck back to the original size, so there's tension on the bullet when you see the bullet. I took those 338 Lapua cases back. I popped the primer, put a new primer in it, put the right amount of powder into that 338 Lapua Magnum, took a 250 grain bullet, seated it on the case, never sized it, never full-length sized it, never neck sized it, and just put the bullet back and push it down to the right length and shot it again. And I did that for 5 times. Never had to resize the brass at all. I never tried to find out how far I could go before a polymer case split, but I wanted to say I probably could have reloaded that case 9 or 10 times. And all I'm doing is primer, powder, seat a bullet. No full-length sizing, no lube, no neck sizing, nothing. Just shoot it. So,
go ahead. Go ahead, man. You're good.
So basically, this is the truth, okay? It's not, what is that LSAT case again? It's not revolutionary. It's the next evolution in brass cartridge cases. 35% lighter. So if you're carrying a Mark 11 or M110 semi-automatic sniper rifle, you guys, SR-25, whatever you want to call it, you're reducing your weight in your magazines by 35%. Less heat in the barrel, in the chamber. Your gun's not going to run as hot. It's more accurate. It's cheaper. And subsonic is very easy to make.
Why are we saying this? Because you're going to start seeing this in the future, guys. You are. You're going to start seeing it. You will.
What I'd like to
promise.
see is somebody with big pockets sit down with this guy and say, hey, I'm going to get you started and do something. But the main thing is stay away from the military. Don't make stuff for the military, because every time you go to them and say, look what I got, they're going to find some way. Yeah, they're going to crush you down.
Way to crush you.
Imagine, just for a second, this same capability in 9mm, 40 Smith & Wesson, 357 Magnum, 44 Magnum, 4570 cases, okay? Imagine this capability out there for all those different cartridges. And the thing is, you don't need these big giant machines that pound, you got the brass, little copper circle brass thing. If you ever seen brass manufactured, it's a bunch of machines pounding brass. You have to wear like triple earmuffs when you go inside the place. This right here, anything that, the same machine that injection molded this water bottle, plastic, you can put this die, the mold for this case, I've seen it, in a standard injection molded machine, and I can make this case. I don't need these big giant, 15,000 pound ear throbbing machines that cost, a gazillion dollars. So any of you guys out there to say, you know what, I got a little stash away, I want to get with those guys and see if I can get involved.
I was actually on the phone with this guy, with Steve. Steve was riding with me. We're coming back from Big Daddy Unlimited episode.
Yes, we were.
Steve's talking to this guy on the phone, and serious as a heart attack. He's wanting to come back out of retirement and get this puppy rolling again now that the people that were in government shutting him down to further their other things. Now that now that these things have failed.
Yeah, but the thing is, if I was investing, I would even involve the government. I'll stay away from it.
Because once you get established doing like 38 special and 4570, the military will come to you. Trust me, when 160th sees it, how much lighter it is on their miniguns, they're like, man, why didn't we wanted to do this?
Oh my gosh,
15 years ago.
It would be incredible on a Little Bird.
Oh yeah,
I remember we talked to the Little Bird pilots. We had this on the links, the standard M240 762 links, and we went over to task force. This is when I was in uniform and I was working the program, and we showed the guy. He said, "I said, will 47 pounds make a difference to you in a Little Bird as far as the weight of your ammo?" He said, "Dude," he said, 16 ounces makes a difference to us.
Yeah.
He said, so 47 pounds is huge.
Yeah.
But then again, we go back to the military. You guys that are shooting 308, or like the guys say, I want a accurate 308 bolt action for a Winchester Model 70. I bought this Proof Research barrel. I spent my money on that. Now I want accurate ammo. Inexpensive. It's not. We're not saying cheap, because it's not a cheap production. It's quality. It's inexpensive. Why spend all that money to have this Accurate 308 rifle and not have something like this right here that has the best accuracy you can get from a legacy type cartridge and have the ability to buy it cheaper and make it faster? If you can, injection mold plastic bottles, you can injection mold cartridge cases. So, and you guys out there got fat pockets, give us a shout. I'll hook you up and I'll step out of the way.
All right, seriously, guys, if you've got money and you want to help this guy get this, the research has already been done. It's proven. It's done. He just needs the money to get the injection molding machines back up and running again. All right, next question. The Citizen 1776, hey, Steve or Carl, which would you prefer for a combat rifle? A 223 Wild with a 1-in-7 twist, or a standard government barrel?
Okay, the moment you said combat, stop right there. Don't throw a non-standard cartridge in with the term combat.
Yeah.
Okay? Because if you're in combat and I'm yelling, I'm out, guy flips me a mag. The mag's coming over, I slap it in, I'm good to go.
Needs to be able to run.
Okay? And no. I mean, I'm not saying anything against the 223 Wild. I mean, go out there to the range, master your gun, master your groups, master your loads. That's what it's all about, man. Shooting those nice groups with something that you put that recipe together, I love it. But when it comes to combat, no. I don't want any chances that, even though if I'm running 5.56 in a 223 wild chamber, that something with the expansion of the neck and the brass in the case, or poor brass, and it splits the case and it gets jammed in that chamber. One thing, if you get a double feed, you get a piece of brass break off and it's in the chamber, you're out of the fight. Not unless you transition to your handgun. Once the handgun, therefore, for you to fight your way back to a rifle. So, no. When you said combat, it should have stopped there.
You need to stick with a military round, guys.
Yeah.
All right, David Bobine. Steve, been shooting Underwood 110 VMAX bullets on a SPC for deer season. What are your thoughts?
Is it working?
As long as it works.
As long as it works, dude.
What weight you run for your 6.8 for deer?
110s.
Steve's
I love myself some 110 Hornady VMAX. I'm telling you. That when they went to the 120, which is the weight that I set for, the combat stuff. But when you go to crimping the neck, again, going back to polymer ammo, where you don't have to crimp, the foot pounds of tension on that case was proven to be stronger than a crimp neck on any kind of brass cartridge. I shot the 120s, but I'm gonna tell you, man, my 110s, I love myself some Hornady 110s, especially when you're running it. When we did the stuff with Remington, shame on you. They stepped it down a little bit when they went in for the SAMI application. We were running 110s about right at 2,600 feet per second, and I remember my first deer I ever took with it was up here in Kentucky, over in Christian County, and I was hunting with Sean Renock. And I told him, I said, hey, I'm not going to take any shots past 200. Because, it's small cartridge and everything else. And this big doe came out of this tree line, and it was probably 10 o'clock in the morning. I knew where she was going. She was going to go back into the cedars. And I looked and I said, man, gosh dang, I knew it was 365, And I did exactly what Mr. White said. Even though I have my little data on the side of the stock, you never, when you're shooting, hunting, he always preached, never go above hair. So if you say my drop is 8 inches, 7 inches at that range, but you would hold your reticle 4 inches over her back, so you got nothing but clear. He said never do that. So I held right on the back of the edge. I never left hair, and I pulled the trigger. And, she dropped in her tracks. And Sean's like, I thought you were only going to shoot 200. I said, man, I wasn't going to let that big. That was like, I think she dressed out at like 130 pounds. That was a lot of meat, man. I knew once she went into that cedar thicket, and I've been hunting there for like 12 years. Going to that cedar thicket, I'm not going to see her again, So, if you hand load, go to some loads that'll get you 25, 50 or better. If you're buying commercial off the shelf, I always tell people I recommend Hornady. I try not to do this all the time because Steve Hornady need to sponsor the Tactical Rifleman show. Okay, I'm giving you props all the time. That other company that I did some work for and never got paid. Sorry. What's their initials? SSA. Shame on them. I don't recommend them. I don't care. I've seen a lot of things where people say, "Oh, they're great guys and they're this and this." And I say, "Yeah, the workers are great people. It's like PRI. It's a generational thing. I'm pretty sure if you ask the granddaughters that are now going to some Ivy League school, their grandparents are great people. Well, from my perspective, it's kind of like lords and barons. We cut off a couple of heads to get here. We hung a couple of people, but we treat our grandkids great. Screw that. Shame on you." So same thing I say about PRI. I don't recommend their stuff, and that's just the way it is.
All right.
So don't ask me.
Next question is from Random
If
American.
you don't know, now you know, brother.
Random American said, what do you and Steve think about sabos for increased velocity, i.e. a 224 loaded with a sabo for 308? Guys, you understand what he's talking about? A sabo. Basically what you're doing is you're taking a 5.56 projectile and you're putting it into a 308 casing, So how do you make this little bullet fit in there? How you do it is by literally taking a plastic sabot.
That's the bore size.
That is the
Caliber.
bore size for 308. And it goes around your projectile. This is actually an armor-piercing one from a little bird, actually.
Slap round.
It's a slap round for a little bird. Once it leaves the barrel, the sabot is supposed to separate, and then that leaves your projectile. Here's the problem with a lot of them. Back in the 80s, they used to sell them and for civilians, and they basically made them illegal because if you shot somebody, they said it was for assassins. There were no lands and grooves actually on the projectile to match the bullet to your gun. So there was no way for them to say, for the FBI and the ATF to say that projectile came from your rifle because you had, it's like paper patching around basically. All right.
Let me see that.
Now,
okay, so SLAP, SLAP, sabot launched armor piercing. Okay, keep in mind, this is a 308. As you said, 5.56, 308. This is a tungsten carbide penetrator. So, I
have ones out in the man room that are actual 5.56 guys. They're actually tracers that go that go with these. So I have shot the 5.56 ones.
So imagine that 175 grain bullet for the M118LR, 2,600 feet per second. So that's pushing 175 grains. This tungsten carbide bullet, I think, weighs about 75, 80 grains. So you just went from 175 grains at 2,600 feet per second to 75 grains. The velocity on this projectile is about 4,000 feet per second. I mean, you won't even see the trace. You know, and say, where did it go? Where did who go? It's that fast. I remember we were shooting out on what is it, range 16, KD range, and we shot
16,
these
yeah.
to see how they were grouped. And the guy kept saying, where are you aiming? I said, I'm aiming right at the bullseye, 600. He goes, you sure? Because I can't see the trace. And finally, I guess the barometric pressure changed and humidity changed. And one of the guys said, hey, I saw the trace. It's like 200 rounds later. But he said, what we were doing, we were used to seeing trace arc up and then back. He said, look into the target stand itself. Look into the black. And then I guess about, I don't know, sometime later I was looking, I said, oh shit, I saw it. And it was a freaking laser beam. 4,000 feet per second. Tungsten carbide, it's going to punch anything. I don't give a shit what you're wearing. Okay? So, if you don't know, now you know, brother.
I didn't find them to be accurate when I shot them out of my 308 guns, right? Because, guys, I've tried IR tracers through my bolt guns. I'm looking for any advantage on the battlefield. So as far as for a civilian application, it is what it is. If you get good performance out of it, they're random American. It's something that works for you. Cool. Understand you do have the added benefit that as you start thumping all those Antifa nutbags at your local protest,
Stop it, Carl.
They can't trace it back to your rifle. Basically,
Stop it,
just
Carl.
make sure you pick up your brass.
Polymer slap. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? You'd probably get 4,100 feet per second out of polymer. I know you guys out there saying, hey, Steve, I got this stash I've been hiding from the government. We're going to buy some, injection molding machines, and we're going to get this puppy rolling.
I had a patron ask saying, hey, I don't understand what Steve's saying about the clear ammo thing. Can you have Steve bring the Patreon? Yeah, Steve is coming to our Patreon course in November. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, it is a 4-day, if you count the pre-day, it's a 5-day long class in Texas. It's already sold out. But there are certain advantages to being a patron on, you go patreon.com/tactical rifleman. We quick shooting tip every month. I just filmed the question and answer video today. We do story time with Carl once a month.
What does it mean by clear ammo?
She's talking about these right here.
Oh,
Steve.
the LSAT?
Yeah.
Just go on Google.
No,
just
don't
Google
choose them.
LSAT.
Don't worry about it. We'll cover it. I'll have Steve bring it to the Patreon course.
Yeah.
We will. We'll go over all this stuff.
You will drink LSAT polymer ammo until you are full.
Yep.
Bring some tequila.
Emo Rockset 8. M24 SR25 if you could only have one. See, that's not really fair because I'm never giving Reed Knight a dime of my money.
We'll just say a 308 semi-automatic.
Say AR-10 versus a bolt gun. I'm not bringing a bolt gun to combat. Now, don't get me wrong. If I'm going from mountaintop to mountaintop and an extreme long range and I need accuracy, okay, then an MRAD or my Accuracy International AXMC bolt actions will always be more accurate than gas guns.
Or his future Mark 22 MRAD.
I actually talked to them today, and there's an 18-month wait. I'm still going to try to get 3 of them. All right. Now, so I'm going to go with the AR-10. I'm going to go with a semi-auto. I'm not bringing a bolt gun to a gunfight. And here's what I'm saying, guys. This picture right here, this is my A-team in the JAF. All right. This picture right here, this is my A-team, my sniper A-team in the initial invasion of Afghanistan. This right here is my A-team in Fallujah. Now, all of that was urban fighting, a lot of urban fighting, This one right here, me with a accurized gun in Mosul. If I'm going to shoot my sniper rifle from, let's say, the hole in the wall of the third story of a building, to get to that third story to shoot, I have to clear that building. And I'm not going to clear a building with a bolt action rifle. I'm not. Oh, but Carl, you could use your pistol. I got that. Pistols are not made for combat. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, but what? Oh, no. A pistol is what you carry when you're not planning to get into a gunfight. A pistol is your backup in case your rifle shits the bed. But if you're going to combat, brother, you need to have a semi-automatic gun with you. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no all this bullshit, these IDPA and IPSC grandmasters saying, well, if I was going to do CQB, I would use my competition STI pistol in open class. I know you would, but that's why you're a professional competitive shooter and why you're not a gunslinger. It's why you don't do combat. It's why you don't do, and it's okay. It's okay to be a competitive shooter. It's okay. Close quarters battle's not for everybody. It's not. You bring a semi-automatic, right? You bring an assault rifle to a gunfight, guys. You do. You bring an assault rifle to a gunfight. That's just the truth. Blah 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 blah. All right, next question. I love these questions. Cash me outside. If you would be so kind, I forgot to ask what your preferred contour would be for the precision barrel. Sendero, medium, Palmer, etc. Again, what he's talking about, guys, is how fat do you want that barrel? The fatter the barrel is, the less barrel droop you're going to get when the gun starts to heat up. It's going to take more ammo to heat the barrel up. The fatter the barrel, the less barrel droop you're going to get if you have a suppressor on the end of it because you have more metal supporting the gun. Now, that said, remember we're talking about heat dissipation here. If you're going to bench rest and shoot 500 rounds in a day, bang, 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 go with a heavier barrel. If you shoot precision rifle series and you're not using it in combat, because precision rifle series is definitely not for combat guns, go with a lead sled gun with the heaviest barrel. These guys put like bronze inserts in their guns to make the guns heavier, because they're going from the trunk of their pickup truck to the actual shooting bag, and they've got these big massive sandbags that they put up under their armament That's Precision Rifle Series. And it's a sport. It's awesome. I got that. These are some accurate guys. They have accurate guns. They're great at what they do. That's not combat. That's not sniper ops. Right. Now, look at what you're using the rifle for. If all you're doing is bench rest shooting or Precision Rifle Series, go as big as you want. Go with a big, fat, heavy barrel. Go with that. If this is a hunting gun, and you want the gun as light as possible because you've got to carry it up through the mountains of the Rockies because you're out hunting that bighorn sheep, go with a light barrel, but one that's heavy enough to give you accuracy. Now, you specifically mentioned the Sendero. What the Sendero was, if you guys can look up your Remington 700 BDL or the ADL, they had a model that was called the Sendero. It was not as heavy of a barrel as the M24, the sniper weapon system that they came out with late 80s for the U.S. Army. I had a long action 308. Long action because down the road they were planning on rechambering it in 300 Win Mag. It eventually happened, and then they immediately did away with the guns. It's beautiful. Very, very heavy barrel on an M24. The Sendero had a medium barrel on it. So in other words, it was still an accurized barrel, but it was great for like police snipers or for anybody that's actually doing real sniper ops. Go out somewhere. Again, I would prefer to have a semi-automatic gun for combat, but if all you're doing is accuracy, go with that. At a minimum, go with a medium barrel. So we mentioned the proof barrels. What a proof barrel does is basically it's carbon fiber wrap. Now, carbon fiber is not light. Everybody thinks carbon fiber is light. It's not light. That's not why you're doing it. So you can go with a much fatter profile on that barrel, but it's all carbon fiber, and it's gonna respond better to temperature changes, stuff like that. So there are advantages of going with carbon fiber barrels. All right. Anyways, that's what that is. All right, we are caught up. We are already at 2 hours and 23 minutes. We're going to wrap this up at our 2.5 hour mark. Why? Because we need to. We really do need to, guys. All right, so real quick, I want to thank Steve for coming on the show tonight. It's always great having Steve here. I want to give another shout out to our sponsor right here, JX Tactical. Again, they're a holster company, but they specifically their big thing is holsters for every body design, including you fat rat bastards out there. So if you've got a little extra gristle, go with their appendix. They call it the Fat Guy. All right, doesn't say it on the holster. All right, but it's designed for guys with a little more gristle. But that's not the one I'm getting. I'm getting their regular inside the waistband appendix-carry holster. But I also want to try out their low rider outside the waistband one. I'm gonna try this stuff out. Right, they make good holsters. I'm waiting for mine to show up. So anyways, I want to thank them for sponsoring the live stream tonight. And guys, for attachment points, they've got soft loops, standard clips, ulti clips, whatever you want, you can check it out. Steve's back here to snuggle. Steve, last couple minutes, we're wrapping this thing up. You've parting words of wisdom. You can save your other stuff for next Tuesday. All right. Okay. Yeah, you've got. We're coming up. You got 3 minutes. Parting words of wisdom. Parting words of wisdom. God bless America. That's a good one. God bless all nations. Because there are people out there that will sell this nation out. There are people out there that would destroy this nation if only to be the king and queen of ashes. Yep. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Now, the people on the border, God bless them. Because if I wasn't an American, and I would want to get to America. Parting words of wisdom. I would want to get to America. So everybody wants to come to America. Don't fault the immigrants. Okay? No, I don't. But keep in mind, those gotaways, when you start talking about 200,000-300,000 gotaways in a month, that's a lot. That's a lot, guys. And
if you
weren't doing
if you
politics
organize
tonight,
them
Steve.
and you arm them, that's a threat, internal threat to this country.
No.
God bless America.
Give them.
God bless America.
Let them
You know?
Let them pick the tobacco, guys. Let them clean your hotel.
No, I didn't say the good ones. I said the ones.
Yeah.
Think about it. If you walk across,
there's MS-13.
If you walk across, they will give you 3 hots and a cot. But if you avoid them, that means that you don't want 3 hots and a cot and a way in. You have another agenda, okay? And then the women being raped in these rape trees. That's ungodly. Okay.
This was supposed to be
bottom line.
Parting words.
Those are my parting words. Okay. Those are my parting words. Okay. That is sadistic, and those type we don't need here in this country.
Nope, we don't.
We don't.
Hey guys, I still have slots left for our September classes. All right, we're doing
sign up. I'll come hang out with
Combat Pistol 101, Combat Pistol Carbine, Carbine Zero Mastery, and then Advanced Pistol Carbine all back to back. You don't have to sign up for all of them. You don't. Again, that's right in the middle of September. High-risk travel class in December. I'm gone the first 16 days of October. I'm going to the Rubicon Trail in California. My Jeep, my camper. Going to be a great time filming the whole thing. If you guys want to come, hang out with us, it's going to be awesome.
Real quick. I was in Arizona at the wall. And the Border Patrol agent told me, he said, hey, I said, man, I want to go right up there. I want to see it. He goes, no, because see all those big mansions out there built into the side of the mountains and the hills? I said, yeah. He said, those are drug cartel guys. And they got guys up there, they'll shoot at you if you go over there. I said, well, can I shoot back? He goes, well, no, because you'll be violating the treaty. I said, once they shoot this way, it's on. He said, turn around, sir. Go back to your vehicle. Yep. Those are part of words. This is our country. We welcome everybody, and God bless everybody. God bless Tactical Rifleman Nation. But it's going to be some. We're born into some trying times. That's all I can say.
We are, Steve. We are indeed. All right, guys, here's the deal. Literally, we went 2.5 hours tonight. That's a long live stream.
We're just getting started.
I want to thank Steve for coming out. It's always a good time with Steve here. We're going to try to get Randy Worst to come out with Steve next Tuesday. And again, the following Tuesday, the 30th, we're going to be down at the Leatherwood Distillery in Clarksville, Tennessee. So if you're one of my 5th Group brothers, you're in the area, we'd love to have you come out, and we're going to do some storytelling. It's going to be awesome. All right. Again, thank you for all the support from my patrons.
Kraken knife.
My Kraken knife.
I never heard of those guys.
Dude,
except for the one you showed me.
50 of them handy here. Literally, I got a bunch of Kraken knives here.
He's a lot like Emery. It's like, oh man, I got 15 of those things. I was like, I never heard of it. Show me Randy's. I've never heard of Kraken. Feels a lot like, and I mean no disrespect to the cracking people. It feels a lot like a busting knife. It's got that weight and it's got that it's got that heavy.
That's my field.
It's
knife.
like I can work a werewolf and a vampire with this.
That's
right?
not my fighting knife. That is my field knife. Oh shit! Give it back, Steve.
I'm gonna give it back to you safely.
All right, guys. You know the deal. We love y'all. We'll see y'all next Tuesday. Y'all take care and shoot straight.
Incoming right there. Incoming right there. Incoming right there. Incoming right there.